to the deep dive. Today, we're doing something really interesting. We're diving into some highlights from the Mind-Blowing Facts show.
Yes, specifically their episode 10, Mind-Blowing Facts You Won't Believe Are True. Jay and Mech hosted that one.
Exactly. And our goal isn't just to list them, but to kind of unpack them, see what they really tell us about, well, everything.
Right. We picked these 10 because they genuinely offer a new perspective, shifting how you might see things. They're not just trivia.
Should be fun. Ready to get our minds blown a bit.
Let's do it.
Okay, first up, space. You think of space, you think of nothing. Right. A total vacuum, no smell.
The common picture, yeah. But it turns out space does have a smell, or at least things that have been in space do when they come back.
Really? A smell? What kind of smell?
Well, astronauts consistently report it when they come back inside from a spacewalk. Their suits, their equipment, they carry this distinct odor.
Huh. Like what? Air freshener?
Not quite. More like seared steak, some say.
No.
Or welding fumes. Even gunpowder. Pretty industrial smells, actually.
Welding fumes? In space? How does that even happen? What's creating that?
The best guess is it's about high-energy particles out there. You know, solar wind, cosmic rays, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And these particles react with the atoms and molecules on the surfaces of the suits in the ship. Then when the airlock opens, poof, those new compounds get carried inside.
Ah, gotcha. So it's a reaction product you're smelling, like after a thunderstorm, that ozone smell.
Exactly like that. It's energy changing the chemistry. Pretty wild when you think about it happening up there.
Okay, from the huge emptiness of space to something incredibly tiny and detailed. Fingerprints, we all know they're unique.
Right, standard ID stuff. But the fact that blew my mind was when they form.
Oh, yeah. When's that?
Super early. They start developing around the 10th week of pregnancy, just 10 weeks in.
Wow, that is early. And the podcast mentioned something about twins.
Yes, this is the kicker.
Yeah.
Even identical twins, same DNA, right? They're different fingerprints, completely unique patterns.
Okay, hold on. If the DNA is the same, what makes them different? That doesn't seem right.
It's the environment inside the womb.
Yeah.
It sounds deterministic, but it's actually got this random element, tiny, tiny differences.
Like what kind of differences?
Things like the exact pressure from the amniotic fluid, how the baby moves, bumps against the womb wall, even subtle shifts in blood vessel growth under the skin. All these little chaotic factors influence how those ridges form.
So it's like nature plus nurture, even right down at the fingertip level, super early on.
Precisely. It shows how much those tiny, seemingly random environmental factors matter in development.
All right, let's shift scale dramatically. Think bee whales. Blue whales.
Oh, yeah. Huge. Everyone knows they're massive.
Massive is an understatement, according to this fact. They aren't just the biggest now, they're apparently the biggest animal ever.
Ever, yeah. Bigger than any dinosaur we know of.
Seriously. Bigger than like a brontosaurus or T-Rex.
Well, maybe not longer than the longest sauropods, but in terms of sheer mass, absolutely. Blue whales can top 100 feet long, sure, but they weigh over 200 tons.
200 tons? That's hard to even picture.
Think of it like this. It's more than 30 elephants put together. On a scale.
30 elephants. Okay, that gives you a sense of it. Wow. Wow. The absolute peak of size on Earth.
Sticking with whales, but a different kind. A very different weird fact. Killer whales, orcas.
Okay, what about them?
How they sleep.
Oh.
Or how they don't fully sleep. They practice something called unihemispheric sleep.
Unihemi what?
Unihemispheric. One half of the brain sleeps at a time.
So one half is offline, resting, and the other half is still running the show.
Exactly. They literally sleep with one eye open. The eye connected to the awake hemisphere stays open and alert.
Why would they do that? Seems inefficient.
Well, they're air-breathing mammals in the ocean, remember. They need to consciously decide to go up for air.
Ah, okay, so they can't just completely zone out like we do.
Right. This way, they can keep breathing reflexes going, stay aware of dangers, keep track of their pod members, all while getting some rest. It's a pretty neat evolutionary trick.
Yeah, talk about multitasking, sleeping, breathing, and watching out for trouble all at once.
Okay, prepare for a slightly unsettling fact, maybe, about us, about our skin.
Oh, what about our skin, besides getting wrinkly?
We shed a lot of it, constantly, like every minute.
Okay, I knew we shed skin cells, but how much are we talking?
The number is pretty staggering. It's estimated between 30,000 and 40,000 skin cells per minute.
Per minute. Wow. So over a lifetime, what does that add up to?
Get this. Over an average lifespan, it totals up to more than 35 kilograms.
Kilograms? Wait, how much is that in pounds?
About 77 pounds.
77 pounds. That's like a whole person's worth of skin, almost.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's just flaking off constantly, being replaced. You're leaving a little trail of you everywhere you go.
That's, yeah, slightly unsettling, but also kind of amazing. This constant renewal happening without us even noticing.
All right, complete change of pace. Art history mystery time.
Hmm.
The Mona Lisa.
Okay, famous painting, Louvre, enigmatic smile. What's the fact?
She has her own mailbox.
Come on, seriously, a mailbox for a painting.
Seriously. Apparently, the Louvre receives so much fan mail addressed specifically to the Mona Lisa.
Fan mail, people write to the painting.
Yep, from all over the world. Letters of admiration, poems, who knows what else. And there's enough of it that they had to set up a dedicated mailbox just to handle her mail.
That's incredible. It just shows the kind of connection people feel to that painting, doesn't it? Like she's a real person they can correspond with.
Exactly. It speaks volumes about her cultural impact, that enduring mystique. She's more than just paint on wood for a lot of people.
Okay, this next one sounds like a contradiction. Happiness can break your heart. I thought only sadness did that.
Yeah, that's the common association, right? We talk about dying of a broken heart from grief. But this condition, broken heart syndrome,
Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, I think it's called.
that's the one. It mimics a heart attack, usually triggered by intense stress or sadness. But, and this is the surprising part, research shows it can also be triggered by extreme positive emotions.
So like winning the lottery or overwhelming joy could actually hurt your heart physically?
Potentially, yes. The idea is that any extreme emotion, positive or negative, can cause this sudden surge of stress hormones, like adrenaline.
Okay.
And that massive rush can temporarily stun or overwhelm the heart muscle, specifically the left ventricle, weakening it.
Wow. So it's not the type of emotion, but the sheer intensity that can be risky.
Seems that way. It really changes how you think about the mind-body connection and intense feelings. Right, how about this for unexpected history? Parachuting dogs.
Parachuting. Dogs. Like military dogs jumping out of planes.
In World War II, yes.
Uh-huh.
The British military actually trained dogs for parachute deployment.
No way. Why? What were they doing?
They had important jobs. They weren't just mascots jumping for fun. They were trained to detect landmines.
Wow. Crucial job.
And also to deliver messages across difficult terrain or dangerous areas where a human soldier might be too easily spotted or intercepted.
So they were genuine operatives, little four-legged paratroopers?
Absolutely. Real four-legged heroes, as the podcast called them. Amazing bravery, both human and canine.
Okay, nearly there. Let's get a bit psychological. Secrets. We all have them, right?
Apparently quite a few. The research cited suggests the average person is walking around with about 13 secrets at any given time.
13. That sounds like a lot to keep track of. Are they big secrets, small secrets?
Probably a mix. But what's really interesting is that out of those 13, on average, 5 are secrets that the person has never told anyone, ever.
5 secrets completely locked away. I wonder what that does to you mentally, carrying those around.
Well, psychologists think it can definitely take a toll. Even if they aren't huge, dramatic secrets, the mental effort of actively concealing things can contribute to stress, anxiety, maybe even feelings of being isolated.
Yeah, that makes sense. A hidden burden.
And for the grand finale,
Yeah.
let's go cosmic. Really cosmic. So you, me, everyone listening, and the Big Bang.
Okay, intriguing. What's the connection?
It's about the hydrogen atoms in our bodies. You know, hydrogen, key part of water, organic molecules, everything.
Yeah, basic building block.
Well, the vast majority of those specific atoms that make you you were created within the first few minutes after the Big Bang.
Wait, seriously, not just hydrogen like the stuff from the Big Bang, but the actual atoms.
The actual atoms, over 13 billion years old,
Yeah.
forged in the fire of the universe's birth. They've been around that long, eventually becoming part of stars, planets, and, well, us.
So that phrase, we are stardust, it's not just poetic, it's literally true. We're made of ancient matter from the dawn of time.
Precisely. As the podcast put it, you're made of ancient stardust. It's about as profound a connection to the universe as you can get, isn't it?
Wow, okay. My mind is definitely feeling a bit expanded. Those are genuinely surprising for me, I think. Maybe the space smell and the parachuting dogs really stick out. Just so unexpected.
Yeah, they're great visuals. I think the one about happiness potentially breaking your heart really surprised me. It challenges that simple good-bad view of emotions and their physical impact.
It really does. So, for you listening, which one landed hardest? Maybe you're now imagining astronauts sniffing their suits or thinking about the tiny pressures that made your fingerprints unique.
Or perhaps pondering the weight of secrets or feeling that connection to the Big Bang through the hydrogen inside you.
Yeah, it just goes to show, doesn't it? There are these incredible, sometimes weird connections and facts hidden beneath the surface of, well, everything.
Absolutely. From the microscopic to the cosmic, it's all woven together in fascinating ways.
Hmm.
Always more to learn, always more to uncover if you take a deep dive.
And maybe that's the real takeaway. The universe and our place in it is just packed with wonders waiting to be noticed. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.